Final 9. A card game, based on the sport of disc golf, for 1 to 4 players, where a round takes about 30 minutes or more to play. The core game box comprises of an 18-hole course, 13 drivers, 9 mid-range, 15 putters, 18 skill cards, 16 deviation cards, 11 luck cards, 6 call cards, a scorecard, a score tracker, 2 reference cards, 2 win cards, 8 marker discs, and a rules booklet. The object of the game is to get from every tee pad into every basket in the lowest number of throws by combining disc and action cards to create the best throws possible every turn. Draw, combine, throw, and putt yourself to victory, while avoiding all the trouble that can come your way. Each hole card has a set of linear grids, for which you need to move up, down, and across, to complete each hole. Each hole has a par, a tee pad, a basket, and different features like water, bushes, islands, mandatories, clumps of trees, and extra out of bounds that can hinder your progress. Each disc card has a set of grids depicting the flight it will take when thrown from the current grid. They are also backhand and forehand specific to determine the direction they fade. The drivers go far. The mid-ranges are a little less. And the putters are shorter and mostly used to complete a hole. Some discs also have resistance to bushes, and others have resistance to the wind during pro-level play or if written on a card. There are 4 different types of action card. Skills. These can be added to a disc before a throw to change the flight. Skills include being able to add more distance or fade, switch up cards, or change the flight direction. There are deviation and call cards. These can be added to a disc during a throw to add trouble to a flight. Deviations can include removing or adding distance and fade, or causing a putt to miss. Calls can include removing skills, getting called on foot faults, and receiving red flags. Lastly, there are luck cards. These can be added to a disc after the throw to help the flight, or cancel some of the previous trouble that may have occurred. Luck includes adding or removing distance and fade, canceling deviations and calls, and getting a disc in the basket from distance, which is how you can score an ace if you can manage it. Most actions can be applied in most situations, though some can only be applied when you putt. When you putt, some can't be applied at all, and others can be applied instantly during a throw. Before a round, decide whether to play the full course, half course, mega holes, stacked in order, or shuffled. For the full course, use the numbers shown on the sides of each hole card to lay out the adjacent holes. To start, shuffle each disc and action stack separately, never together, and deal each player 9 cards. 4 disc cards and 5 action cards. Each player adds a marker to the score tracker, and the first player adds another to the first tee pad. At the beginning of a hole and on their turn, each player can discard and redraw up to 2 cards from either the disc or action stacks. Usually, deviations and calls get swapped, as these can't be played from your hand during standard gameplay, only during battle rules or on certain courses. Those cards are there to add trouble to your hand, as well as your throw. To set up a throw, add a disc to the disc discard pile. Then add as many skill cards as you wish from your hand to the action discard pile. When you have established what grid you are aiming for, throw by drawing and discarding the next action card. If a blue or yellow card is revealed, then the throw lands where you aimed. If it has an instant icon, you can also apply the effect if you wish. If not, then ignore the text. If a red or gray card is revealed instead, follow the text instruction. After the throw, if you wish, you can apply as many luck cards as you want from your hand. These can cancel a deviation or call drawn, or readjust your disc flight and landing. So, to calculate an outcome, use the disc flight add any skill effects applied, then any deviation, or instant, that may have appeared, and last, any luck you wish to add. You can end up landing on grass, or in the circle, in the bushes, which is -1 distance next turn, or out of bounds in the water, on structures, or past the edge of a card, where you will have to go back to the first safe grid before going OB, with a penalty applied. Once your disc has landed, and the outcome achieved, move your marker to that grid, and refill your hand back to 9 cards, choosing from either the disc or action stacks. You will do this after every throw. The next player in order then places their marker on the tee pad and repeats the throwing process for their disc. Once all players have teed off, landed, and refilled, the player farthest from the basket throws next. Then, once you are close enough, usually 2 to 3 grids away, try and complete the hole by using a putter to land on the basket grid. If you use a disc, which is not a putter, and you land on the basket grid, if you play an in from distance card, then you are in. If not, you only land under the basket and have to take an extra throw to drop in instead. When all players have completed the hole, each player moves their marker on the score tracker, depending on how many throws it took them to complete the hole, equivalent to the par for the hole. For example, if it took 3 throws to complete a par 4 hole, then the score is -1, or what is called a birdie. The winner of the last hole, or in case of a tie, the players in the same order, start the new hole. So, swap up to 2. Add a disc. Add skill. Throw. Add luck. Repeat if needed. Then putt. And score the new hole. And so, the overall winner is the player who has the lowest score over the chosen number of holes played. In Final 9, there are 3 levels of play: Rec, Am, and Pro. For Rec, ignore islands, mandatories, wind, and clumps, and structures are not out of bounds. Though, water, and card edges OB, are still in effect. For Am, play the game as normal. Though, you can make it easier by removing the dot cards from play, if you want. It halves the pack. For Pro, a disc cannot fly over a clump, it hits and lands in the clump instead. Also, at the beginning of each hole, draw the next action card to determine the wind direction. When a disc flies into the wind along the distance or fade, it has -1 applied. Inversely, when it flies with the wind, it gains +1. Battle rules are an alternate gameplay between 2 to 4 players. Play the game as standard at any level. Though, just before the throw, the next player in order can apply a deviation or call from their hand onto your disc flight if they want. Then, if a blue or yellow is drawn during the throw, it can be applied if desired. No instant icon is required. Alternatively, if a red or gray is drawn, it is ignored, and you land. Because it's not just a battle against the course, it's a battle against the players too. So, that is how you play Final 9, a disc golf card game. We hope you enjoy it.